soon as I'm finished, she wants me to say something.
Hi, Senator Obama. I am Kristen Larson, a school teacher. I'm here with my teacher colleagues.
In July 2008, Barack Obama addressed a convention of Virginia school teachers. He told them that he had written 2 books, the acclaimed 1995 memoir, Dreams from My Father, and the 2006 Audacity of Hope by himself. Not everyone agrees.
There's been a long controversy about Obama's first book. Who wrote it?
Do you have any doubt in your mind whether or not the President of the United States wrote his book?
I have no doubt that Bill Ayers was the primary craftsman behind Dreams from My Father.
He's gone back, he's looked at previous Obama writings. He knows the history. Obama ran up a deadline. His first book hadn't got anything written, and he did get something written. He turned it in. It was horrible. The publishers rejected it. And then finally, when the book about his father got submitted, everybody said, oh, we've never seen any writing like this from Obama. We've never seen this. So then they started comparing it, Jack did, to other writers, and they found an unmistakable comparison between the way Bill Ayers writes and Obama's first book.
As to Bill Ayers, he knows the 2 books had 2 different authors.
I think the first book is very good. The second book's more of a political hack book, but the first book's quite good. You know that I wrote it?
What's that?
I wrote that, Dreams.
Yeah, we know. You wrote that?
Yeah, and if you could help me prove it, I'll split the royalties with you.
The media, of course, treated Ayers' comments as a joke. But as Ayers knew, the story was leaking out.
Okay, you do not believe that Obama wrote his own book. Wait, I have your tweet. You said, I'm sold. Jack Cashill's compelling arguments on authorship of Obama's book.
The president's autobiography, Dreams from My Father, was actually written by, quote, I'm quoting, the domestic terrorist Bill Ayers.
Yes. Bill Ayers helped with his book, and you actually you found the literary devices and themes bear a jarring similarity to Ayers' own writings.
Because his whole aura was caused by the genius of the first book, which was written by Bill Ayers.
A PhD from Purdue, Cashill had written 7 previous books, including one on literary and intellectual fraud. From past samples, Cashill could see that Obama was an awkward amateur writer and Ayers a skilled pro.
And then I went online and I found this other stuff, and I saw that he has a reputation as a writer. This is a serious writer and editor. He's a guy who takes himself seriously as that. Rashid Khalidi, another Hyde Park radical of Chicago, he wrote a book called Resurrecting Empire. You know how the acknowledgement section starts? Quote, first chronologically in every other way comes Bill Ayers. Bill Ayers was his editor-in-chief within Hyde Park, the guy who helped him put the book together. That's the service he provided. Now it's beginning to seem like not such a crazy idea that Bill Ayers is actually involved with Dreams from My Father.
Ayers did more than edit Dreams from My Father. He imposed his own language and his own vision.
Ayers' own memoir, for instance, is laced with what he calls our constructed reality. And so too his dreams. Here's what Obama says. But another part of me knew that what I was telling them was a lie, something I'd constructed from the scraps of information I'd picked up from my mother. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to read a series of sequences first from Ayers, next one from Obama, and you listen for the similarities. Ayers, narrative begins with something to say. Content precedes form. Obama, I understood that I'd spent much of my life trying to review these stories, plugging up holes in the narrative. Ayers, narrative inquiry can be a useful corrective to all this. Obama, truth is the best corrective. Ayers, the mind works in contradiction, and honesty requires the writer to reveal disputes with herself on the page. Obama, but I suspect that we can't pretend that the contradictions of our situation don't exist. All we can do is choose. Ayers, the reader must actually see the struggle. It's a journey, not by a tourist, but by a pilgrim. Obama, but all in all, it was an intellectual journey that I imagined for myself, complete with maps and rest points and a strict itinerary. Ayers, narrative writers strive for a personal signature, but must be aware that the struggle for honesty is constant. Obama, I was engaged in a fitful interior struggle.
A former merchant seaman, Ayers had a particular love for the language of the sea.
The book is a totally landlocked book. There aren't 2 paragraphs spent in or near the sea. The words that I'm going to read for you all appear usually in metaphorical context or in the middle of Chicago or something, okay? Here are the following words that are shared between Barack Obama's Dreams from My Father and Bill Ayers' 3 books. I'm going to read them quickly. Hang on. Fog, mist, ships, sinking ships, seas, sails, boats, oceans, comms, captains, charts, first mates, floods, shores, storms, streams, wind, waves, waters, anchors, barges, horizons, harbors, bays, ports, panoramas, moorings, tides, currents, voyages, narrower courses, uncertain courses, and things howling, wobbling, fluttering, sinking, leaking, cascading, swimming, knotted, ragged, tangled, boundless, uncharted, turbulent, and murky. That's a coincidence.
As Christopher Anderson affirmed, it was not a coincidence. A celebrity biographer with impeccable mainstream credentials, Anderson interviewed hundreds of Obama friends and reported that, at Michelle's urging, a hopelessly blocked Obama sought advice from his friend and Hyde Park neighbor, Bill Ayers. What attracted the Obamas were Ayers' proven abilities as a writer. Noting that Obama had already taped interviews with many of his relatives, Anderson elaborates. These oral histories, along with his partial manuscript and a trunkload of notes, were given to Ayers. The result was what Time magazine would call the best-written memoir ever produced by an American politician. 2 problems. One was that Obama did not write this memoir. The second, and perhaps more important, was that the story told therein was not true.
So many conspiracy theories, so little time.
It's a small group of nutty people, okay?
To prevent the truth from spreading, the media could do no more than attack as wackos or birthers or racists, those who defended Cashill's thesis.
This is an ugly strain of racism that's running through this whole thing.
You're trying to insinuate that I'm a racist here, which is what MSNBC does to conservatives every single day.
If you're a racist nowadays, you're probably a Republican.
To learn what the media do not want you to know, please read Deconstructing Obama or visit Cashill.com.